Good morning. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
Another episode coming at you live from the Zen Den. Today is going to be another introspective episode. No travels today, only travels through the mind. travels to the very soul of the human, but not physical travels. Just mental ones today. And today's episode is very close to our hearts and to, I think, everybody's hearts, because it's pretty much something that I would say 99% of people are involved in, possibly even 100, because even if you're not in an intimate relationship, you're in some kind of relationship with the people around you. So today's topic is going to be on relationships.
Yeah, we're really excited to talk about this. I think we have been talking about it a bit throughout the week, and I think all those conversations have now led to now us bringing it to the podcast, because I think a lot of it will hopefully resonate with some people. As you said, like relationships, everyone cares about their relationships, you would hope, and everyone is in a relationship, whether
And
it's...
if it doesn't resonate with you, that means that you're probably one of the people we're talking about and you're just in denial, so suck it up.
Maybe you need to hear this.
So pretty much what I'm saying is, if you don't listen to this and you don't agree with us, that means you're the problem. We are perfect. You are wrong. No, a disclaimer from the start. All this stuff we say, we only talk about this stuff because we've gone through it all. So it's not like we're trying to make out like people do wrong stuff and we do all the right stuff. We have just done so many of the wrong things that we've finally come to a place where we're starting to get it a little bit more right and a little bit on track. So we felt like, why not talk about those experiences?
Yeah, exactly. So how do we even begin? It's a big topic.
It's a big one. It's like when you got a real big burger in front of you and it's just got all these layers and you're like, do I get a bit off the top? Do I just don't know how to start? But
I love that you always relate things back to food.
Everything's either food or the gym, you know me. But I would start first probably with like disclaimer. Yes, I know optimally, like it's not about other people, it's about yourself. It's all about inner work, and if you're fine and whole within yourself, it doesn't matter how the people around you act. However, we're not all perfect, enlightened human beings. We're not all at that stage yet. So until we've all ascended into enlightenment, it is important that we do help the people around us and that we are a good influence on the people around us and that we do have good relationships with the people around us, because we influence everybody to some degree. Every single person you come into contact with, you're going to have some kind of influence on. So if you want to have a positive impact on the people around you, the people that are close to you, then you might want to start thinking about how you're acting with the people that you have these relationships with.
100%. Yeah, Hugh had some conversations with someone this week regarding their relationship, and it was kind of what not prompted this conversation, but it was adding to our conversations around relationships. And it just seems that there's a bit of an issue these days, I think, with people's relationships. And the issue that we see is that at the end of the day, like a romantic relationship, your partner should be supporting you no matter what, through thick and thin, through the good times, but also the bad times, maybe even more importantly through the bad times. And in this circumstance, one partner in friends that we know, they're maybe not supporting one another as well as they could. And it's upsetting to see, because I think when you're at your lowest point, you would hope that at least your romantic partner would be there beside you to support you. And in this circumstance, they're not. If anything, how did you describe it?
Yeah, it brings up a good point. So there's a big difference between support and trying to force somebody to be a certain way. So I kind of was phrasing it to Liz before. It's kind of like, yes, you may have like a good intention behind things you say to your partner or things you do or things that happen in a relationship, because optimally in your head you have like a certain direction you want things to move in a certain way, that in your head you think, if you're like this, then I can be like this and our relationship can be like this. While that's not inherently wrong to have aspirations of things being a certain way, I think a lot of people go about it in the wrong way of they try to force their partner to be something they're not, or they try to get their partner to change using tactics like fear or anger or like calling them out or something, or trying to degrade them about something. Whereas I think always in the whole carrot and the stick analogy, the carrot is the way to go in a relationship. Like, you want to motivate your partner, you want to support your partner, you don't want to beat them into submission, because even if you get the result that you are after, what are you left with in this relationship now? You think your partner is just going to forget the fact that you said all these mean things and that you were so like abusive towards them, and you like force them into this situation and bullied them and harass them. And even if you get them to be a certain way, or you achieve the result, or they get the raise at work, or whatever it is you're trying to get to them, do you think that once you reach that goal, suddenly they'll forget about everything they've been through to get there and everything will be all sunshine and rainbows? No, they're going to remember that. It's going to stick with them. Like, you've just forced this result, and now you're left with potentially a better situation on the surface, but now your relationship is deteriorated, sometimes unfortunately beyond repair.
Yeah, and I think it reminds me of a chapter or chapters in the Let Them Theory book, which I've just finished, and I really want Hugh to read it because I think he'll really enjoy it. But it's sort of, rather than like bullying a partner into wanting, like, if say you want them to be a certain way, or you want them to go for that job or go get a job or lose weight or whatever it is that you want from them, rather than telling them and forcing it down their throat and maybe even bullying them into it, the whole Let Them Theory tactic's a weird way to put it, but it's like, inspire them to make that change through your actions. So rather than telling, because at the end of the day, you have to want to change yourself. You need to want to lose the weight, or you need to get a better job, or whatever the situation is. It can't come from any external influence. You can be inspired by your partner, and I think that's the issue here. I think in that scenario, rather than making the other partner feel so terrible about themselves because, oh, you don't have a job yet, like, what are you doing, you lazy whatever, like, whatever the conversation is, I don't think it's very nice. It's like, why don't you turn that around and try and inspire them to change through you going to work every day and showing up and going and making money, or going and asking for a raise. Like, it's not about forcing your partner to do something, because as he was saying, like, it's just I feel like it's not a healthy way to sort of like deal with that situation.
No, your intentions may be good, but the result is not.
Yeah, what did you say? The highway,
the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So you may say to yourself, yeah, but it's for the best for our family. It's for the best for our relationship. It's so that we can have safety and security, and that everything will be better in the future. But you may have good intentions, but if the actions you have to take to reach the destination are sour and negative, then it's not going to be a happy place that you end up in.
Yeah.
So I think it's important also. So that's like, be supportive in a relationship, but also kind of goes hand in hand in this is good communication, really good communication, because a lot of the time you keep these thoughts to yourself. So those are the redeeming thoughts. The redeeming thoughts are, I'm doing this because I want our relationship to be safe and secure. We have good money for the children, all the other stuff. But you've kept those thoughts to yourself. You just think that that's implicit, and you're just expecting them to know that that's where the motivation from you calling them out and trying to get them to the changes coming from. But a lot of the time, that's not implicit. That their partner doesn't know that that's what you're thinking. So to be open and communicate and say, hey, look, honey or sweetie or bae or whatever you call your partner, hey, look, I know it may seem like I'm being tough on you, or that I'm calling you out for this or whatever, but please just know that I'm only doing this because I really do see you as somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with. And for me to spend the rest of my life with you, I want us to have safety. I want us to have security. I want us to be able to provide for our children, all of this other stuff. That is where this is all coming from. I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I'm not like disappointed in you.
I'm not
I'm not
attacking
angry with
you.
you. I'm not saying that like you've done anything wrong. I'm just trying to let you know how important it is to me that this thing happens, because in my mind, this thing happening leads to us having a better relationship, us being closer, us having a fruitful marriage, us having kids who love us. Like, make sure you let them know that that is where it's coming from. What is motivating you trying to get them to change? Because a lot of the time when you ask somebody to change, just the way our brains are wired, our initial reaction is, you're attacking me. This is personal. You're saying there's something wrong with me. This is just like a personal attack on me. And this is just like, why are you doing this? You're meant to love me, but you're being this person who makes me feel insecure and all these other things. But if you can be more open in your communication and let them know everything that's gone into this thought process, then you can both be on more of an accepting field of like, oh, okay, like, I know that, and it's more than just saying like, I'm doing this because I love you, because you need to explain why. You can't just expect someone to believe that like, oh, I'm yelling at you every day because I love you. No, like, you need to explain to me what love looks like to you, everything that goes into that. Like, if you really want me to accept that your actions are motivated by love, let me know in detail everything that has gone into this. Don't just expect me to believe that it's motivated by love if you can't really explicitly communicate all those thoughts and ideas that have gone into it.
Yeah, you can't expect your expectations to be known with your partner if you haven't communicated them, like at the end of the day. And it sounds simple, but it's how many times do we have expectations in our mind of our partners, things that we expect our partners to do, but we don't actually communicate them. I do it all the time. Like I'll, for instance, will eat a meal at the dining table and I'll clean up, and then Hugh may not clean up his crumbs on the table. and
Crumbs on his jacket.
and we've actually had a conversation about this before.
Yeah.
And in the past I got really upset with Hugh because I was like, I snapped at him once. I was like, I can't believe you wouldn't like clean up your crumbs. Like, and I took it as like I took it as a personal attack that he hadn't met my expectations, that I hadn't communicated. But then when I came to him in a more calm sense and said, oh, like, I love you so much. Do you mind? Like, it kind of stresses me out when there's a bit of a mess. Like, I would just really appreciate it if after you ate a meal, just give it a quick wipe down. It takes 2 seconds. Like, it just makes me feel like you care about like cleanliness and hygiene and
explaining why it means that to you, because not everyone has the same values in life.
Yes, that's really
so for your
important,
partner,
actually.
they might think, why are you blowing up about this tiny thing that is so inconsequential? But if you haven't explained to them how much it truly means to you, if you just blow up and say, oh, do this, do that, and your partner's like, wow, why are you like blowing up over such a small deal? Then obviously there's going to be discord in the relationship. But if you can actually explain like, hey, like, and then that's taking accountability for yourself as well. Say, hey, I know on the surface this probably isn't that big a deal, but I personally have like a little thing about this kind of thing, and I really appreciate it if you did such and such and such. Then instantly they're like, oh, okay. So I see they're taking accountability for the fact that maybe this isn't the biggest thing in the world. So it takes the relief off me. Like, I haven't really done anything that majorly wrong, but it is significant to them. And I care about my partner and I want them to be happy. So if this is something that means a lot to them, I'm willing to do whatever it is to make sure that it's okay with them. But if you don't explain that, if you just start blowing up about random things and don't explain how it actually makes you feel and why it makes you feel that way, and come from an angle of like, would you please mind doing that just for my sake?
because it matters to me.
Because I know it's going to make me a lot happier. Like, make it about you. If you ever want to come to your partner with something that you want them to change, something they're doing that's annoying you, make sure you come to them and you say, hey, I have this thing in me that really likes this to be done, rather than you are doing this and you need to change and you are wrong. Instantly they're on the defense. This is attack. This is an argument. this is blowing up. But if you come and it's all about me, like how I feel, I would feel a lot better if we could change this, like instantly it's like, if your partner is compassionate and empathetic for you at all, they're going to hear that and go, yes, obviously I want to do things that makes you happy and to make sure that this relationship stays peaceful, calm, relaxed, loving. Just not making your partner feel attacked.
Because at the end of the day, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
It's you're there together as companions because you love each other. So you should be communicating these things. And I can think of so many examples of either friends that I have or people that I've seen in the past, and I'm sure some people might come to mind, where that communication is so unhealthy. Like the way it's like, oh, why aren't you wearing the shirt that I put out for you to wear? Or you didn't clean up this, or like whatever the conversation is, it's so nasty and it's so like vicious, and it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. And like you just explained, if you explain it from a perspective of like, it's not you're not the problem. I have this strong feeling, or I have this strong importance that I place on the house being clean.
Yeah.
Going back to the table example, for me, it's really important that the house is tidy and clean because that makes me feel really at peace and calm. So I would really appreciate it if you were able to help me get to that. And I understand that might not be important to you, but it's really important to me. That's how the conversation can go, and it doesn't have to be an argument as well.
And sometimes take a moment to think about these scenarios too before you bring them up, because a lot of the time your partner can trigger like some self-work that you need to do on yourself as well. Don't immediately jump to the conclusion that they're doing something wrong. A lot of the time they'll do something and that'll annoy you, and your instant reaction will be, oh, I got to tell them to stop. But sometimes it's good to sit on it and be like, why does that annoy me so much? Like, is there something that I need to think about, like, or something that I could change in me, or something that's gone unaddressed in me from childhood or whatever, that's like, why is this such a big deal to me?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times we can be upset with our partners for the little things that they do, but sometimes those little things that they do can like really spark some self-development work you can do on yourself. Because if you're just alone all the time and never have anything happen, then you're never going to change. But if you have people who sometimes trigger you and make you upset and everything else, it can really inspire some action in yourself to try and change these things about yourself. So when your partner triggers something in you with their actions or some of the little quirks and things that they do, it's actually can be a really good learning opportunity for you to kind of go a bit deeper and think, why does this make me feel this way? And along the lines of communication also is not just what you say, but how. How do you talk to your partner? What kind of tone do you take? How do you convey the messages that you're trying to say to your partner? Because it has a massive impact on your relationship. And then a lot of the times, I read the other day that the way we talk to people says a lot about the way we talk to ourselves. So if you find yourself always calling out your partner, or always kind of talking to them maybe in a bit of a demeaning tone, then it might be a good time to start looking inwards and think, how do I talk to myself in my own head? Because I know I used to be a lot, and that makes a lot of sense for me in the past, especially with Liz. I used to didn't even realize I was doing it a lot of the time, but I would kind of talk quite demeaningly to her, not in any open way of trying to make her feel bad, but just like if she ever like mispronounced something or forgot something or whatever, you kind of like talk down and be like, oh, I can't believe you did that, or it's not that, it's this, or just little things that you don't really think much of. But I kind of started to realize, like, in my own head, I used to really be very negative towards myself, always talk shit on myself, always be like, you're not good enough, like that was wrong. And if you don't change that own narrative in your own head, chances are that's how you're going to talk to the people around you as well. So that was a really cool thing for me to look inside and think, how am I talking to myself? And then on top of that, just be very mindful of how you talk to your partner as well, because it may seem little or inconsequential, but let's say 10 times a day you talk to your partner or say something demeaning or that diminishes them or makes them feel insecure about themselves, compiling over time. If you're in a relationship for 2 years and 10 times a day you say something negative, how do you think your partner is going to feel about themselves after 2 years? And like, if your partner is insecure, if your partner is depressed, if your partner is any of those things, guess what? You are too. You're going to get pulled up in that same energy field. So really, like, you should really be trying to, as Liz said before, like really support your partner, really up level your partner. Like, every day should be about trying to like bring them up and raise them up, because I love the rising tide raises all boats. Like, if you and if the people around you are like feel supportive and positive and they're happy, like, that's going to rise you up too. So yeah, I know for myself personally, I would not even think twice about it. I think especially being brought up with two brothers, you're always trying to call each other out on things, and oh no, that's not right, like little things like that, trying to kind of make yourself like, oh, I'm smarter than you or I'm better than you, that competitive thing you have with siblings and the people around you. But that all really needs to go when it comes to a relationship, because as soon as you try to make it seem like you're better than your partner or you're smarter than your partner or you're ever more than your partner, as soon as you start to try and put them down, like, that's just a downward spiral that you're never going to get out of.
Yeah, well, I think as partners, you should be equal. It shouldn't be, obviously, some religions and some cultures, it's not that case. But I think for the most part, you should be on an even playing field, and you should be equals. And it's just a constant back and forth of give, take, support you, support me. Like, it's constant. It's not one person is above the other or smarter or superior. Like your example you were just saying, like, you're equal. And I think something else that has just come to mind that we speak about often, talking about like the way that you speak to your partner, but also the way you speak about your partner. So how many people have we spoken to where they'll talk about their partner who's obviously not in earshot when we're having these conversations?
Sometimes even when they are.
Yeah, oh God. But it's like the way they speak about their partner, it's so negative. And I'm like, I only speak so highly of Hugh. And even when we weren't together, when we had like a little break in our relationship, I never spoke ill of you. I was always speaking of you in such a positive light because I love you. Like, I love you so much. Why would I ever speak about you in a negative way? Like, don't you love your partner? And some of the conversations we have, it's like,
this isn't to say that you have to agree 100% with everything your partner says or everything your partner does, because that's not how a relationship works. But to remain positive and supportive and loving no matter what that is. So you can disagree with somebody without getting into a fight, without getting into an argument. And same when it comes back to talking about your partner to other people. That doesn't mean that's off limits. Like, you can't talk to your friends about your relationship, because sometimes that's really important to have, to be able to talk to your friends about something that you don't yet feel either secure enough, or maybe you're going through a rough period with your partner and you want to talk to your friends about something, and in order to help that. That doesn't mean that you can't talk to other people about your partner, but just the way you structure it. So be constructive. Be like, okay, they're doing this, this, and this, but I would really like them to do this, this, and this. Whereas so much of the time I see people come up and they're like, oh, my partner's being a fucking bitch. Like, she's fucking doing this, and just want to fucking do it. It's like, that's not inspiring any change. That's not inspiring like your relationship getting better. You're literally just like talking shit about your partner. And even if that never gets back to them, and even if that other person never says anything about it, you've still said it. It's still come out of you. You've still experienced that emotion. You've still let that kind of be a part of yourself. So even if you go back to your partner and you never tell them what you said about them, you still said it. You still felt it in your body. You still expressed all those kind of things. So it may seem innocent and like, yeah, I'm just having an vent to the boys or vent to the girls or whatever it is kind of thing. But you're living the experience in your body. So I think if you want to have a healthy relationship, you should really like pay attention to not only the things you say about your partner when you're with them, but the things you say when you're not with them too.
So are there any other examples that you can think of conversations? Because we talk to people constantly, whoever they're in relationships or they've come out of a relationship.
I could think of a big one.
Yeah, tell me.
Trusting your partner, having trust in them, having trust in the relationship, and trust doesn't just come from nowhere. You can't just like expect to trust someone wholeheartedly the moment you meet them, but I think trust is an implicit part of any successful relationship because it shows the other person that you're secure in them and you believe in them. And I don't think you can really have love without trust. So I hear a lot of the times about people being like, my partner checks my phone, or my partner does this, or I always get asked if I'm out longer, like, where are you? And I don't know, it may seem innocent enough to like be checking up on your partner, but try and examine where that checking up on is coming from, because if your partner feels like you don't trust them, it's going to be really hard for them to connect with you genuinely on an intimate level because, it's just like a roadblock that you can't really get past. If you don't feel like you have trust in a relationship, then it's not really a relationship at all.
Yeah, trust is like the foundation of a good relationship. Trust and good communication, I feel. I feel like you would agree. Yeah, I think like I can talk on this from experience in our relationship. Like we've had to rebuild trust in the past. And if anything, I think if you can build that trust, whether it was broken at all or if it was lacking to begin with, if you can build that trust over the course of a relationship, I feel like it strengthens a relationship so much because it's like I know for me personally, when I've had some issues in the past, like trusting Hugh, when I overcame those, and look, it took like a long time. It took me like a few years to get to the point of like having unwavering trust in Hugh. But once you get to that point and the journey to getting to that point.
That's so funny you use that word. I was literally just thinking, I like when she's finished talking, I really want to say like understanding that a relationship is a journey.
Yeah.
A relationship is a journey that you are both going on, and you are both going to change and evolve as human beings, and to not pigeonhole your partner as like, this is the person that they were when I got together, so this is the person they will always be. That's just not the way life works. You look at the people around you, we change so constantly. So being able to be with your partner on this journey and realize that it is a journey, and that if they do make a mistake at one point, or if they say something you don't like, or if they do something you don't like, not just like pigeonholing them and being like, that's the person you are and that's the person you'll always be.
Yeah.
So this is never going to work. No, like,
how unfair is that
Oh,
to assume that your
100%.
partner has to be the same forever? Because
and they have no potential for growth. They have no potential for change.
that's very selfish.
I mean, sure, if they repeat the same actions month after month, year after year, chances are maybe they're not going to outgrow that, or they're not going to change. But for somebody just realizing in a relationship, like, it's a journey, and you are both going to be changing, and realizing yourself, you are changing too.
Yeah.
And they are changing as well, and to check in with each other and to let the other person know too, like we were talking about communication wise, be like, hey, I know when we first got together, I actually used to like this and I used to like that and I used to be a bit like this, but just wanted to let you know, like, I don't really like those things anymore, or I prefer these kind of things now. And that's not to, a lot of the time that just never gets said. So your partner thinks they're doing something right because they're like, when we first got together, she liked it when I do this, whether there's something physical or emotional, or whether it's to do with food or whatever it is. They think they're doing the right thing. They're like, yeah, when we first got together, she loved it when I did this or said this or whatever. You need to be clear and open that, like, after a few years, months, years, whatever it is, people change, and sometimes people change a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And hopefully your partner can pick up on that as you change, and they will adapt to that as it happens. But a lot of the time you do need to be a bit more implicit about it. Be like, hey, like, this is what I'm into now.
Yeah.
These are the things I like now. These are the kind of people I like to hang out with now. This is the kind of activities I like to do now. let's start to do more of that.
Well, I can think of a great example. Like Hugh and I weren't together for 6 months recently. We had a break and we're now back together. But over that time, I came to the realization that I really value time away from our relationship with my friends or even just alone time. And I had to communicate that with Hugh. And when we got back together, in the past when we were together, I did love being in that love bubble and just constantly in each other's pockets in like a nice way, like always together, always doing everything together. But now, whilst I still love that, I communicated with Hugh when we got back together. I said, I really need time with my friends and I really need time by myself and I need you to give me that. And you were so
That's
accepting of it.
really great you brought that up. That's another key point. And I think it's really important to realize that it's really important to have your own independence in a relationship.
Yeah.
Or interdependence, as in like you do rely on each other, but you have your own thing going on as well.
Yes.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, we're in a relationship now. That means we need to spend 24 hours with each other. I'm your everything, you're my everything, nothing else matters kind of thing. And look, some people may make that work, but most people, it's not really the healthiest way to be.
Yeah.
It is important to maintain family, friends, work colleagues, everything else, have numerous relationships, not just one relationship that has to fulfill every need.
Yeah.
Have numerous relationships in your life, and to not mistake independence for disinterest. I think in a lot of relationships, some people get offended if the partner's like, hey, I want to spend some time with this person, or I want to go see my mates, or I want to go spend a night here, or I want to whatever. I can think of a prime example for me and Liz. We don't even live in the same bedroom. Like we have our own separate rooms.
We're so Japanese.
And
That's
we,
a Japanese thing.
and we love that. It's so nice to have like your own space. Like you feel like you have
love
your
it.
own everything. Like even though we're living together in the same house, she has her room, I have my room. Sometimes she's in my room, sometimes I'm in her room, sometimes we have sleepovers. Like it's really nice to be able to implement the things in your relationship that you need to maintain that sense of independence and to have a partner who can be supportive of that and not see that as a threat to the relationship, but see that as a way of strengthening and making the relationship even more healthy. Because it is true what they say, absence does make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Like it's when you have a bit of time away from them, then you're like, oh, I can't wait to get back to them kind of thing. But
Exactly.
I think a lot of the time, if you're just constantly with each other 24/7, you take each other for granted and you don't allow that time for. It's nice to miss people sometimes.
100%. And like, I love when I go and spend time with my friends because I'm getting to fill up that cup of like friendship and hanging out with my girlfriends and doing all those things. But then I also can't wait to come home and see Hugh and share with him what I did or what we spoke about or the funny things that we talked about. And I think that's what a relationship should be. It's like you should have your own thing going on. And I think that was the issue, or I know that was the issue with our relationship when it sort of came to an end last year. Neither of us really had our own thing going on. We were so in each other's pockets. And whilst it was beautiful and I think we made it work really well, it did get to the point where like I think I definitely came to you and was expressing like I needed a break and I needed a change and I was seeking independence. And it wasn't even coming from a sense of like, oh, I just want to be single. And, you know, it was like, I am just seeking this independence and I just want to be my own person for a bit. And that's something really important, actually. Never lose yourself in a relationship. And it is so easy to do. I think you should always be your own individual person and your partner isn't just an extension of you as a great person. And you come together and you're two individual amazing people and you get to share and you get to be those amazing people, but you're individual. So don't lose your personality, don't lose your interests, your values, your morals, just because you're with someone who maybe you don't always see eye to eye and you don't always agree on everything, or you might have different interests. That's so fine and that's actually really healthy. And like you said with the separate bedroom example, I think it's one of the healthiest parts of our relationship because we, like for instance, Hugh goes to bed a bit earlier than me because he is a really sensitive sleeper. And I remember in the past when he was like, all right, it's bedtime, we're shutting everything off, we're going to bed, I would start to build resentment towards Hugh because I was like, but I'm energetic. I want to read my book. I want to do this and that. I don't want to go to bed. And I used to actually grow like a bit of resentment towards
Yeah.
Hugh. Now that just eliminates all of that.
Yeah, because your routine is so important to your happiness. And like, yeah, sure, when you get into a relationship, it is important that you match up your routine somewhat, but no one's ever going to want to have the exact same routine as another person. So having your own rooms and having a bit more independence in your relationship allows you to maintain that sense of autonomy in your life. Like I still have my routine that I like to follow.
Yeah.
They have their routine that they like to follow. It interweaves sometimes. Sometimes we're doing our own thing, but we're both still our own individual people. And I like what you said before about like coming back together and sharing stories. It kind of inspired me to be like, it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
Just because you can spend your whole day with a partner and not connect with them at all based on what kind of activities are you participating in. Is when you're with your partner, are you just sitting in front of the TV? Are you just eating? Are you just doing whatever? Like, are you actually with them or are they just adjacent to you? Like, are you actually connecting with them? Are you present with them? Are you talking about the things that matter to you, the things that you've been thinking about? Are you expressing how you feel? Are you really connecting, or are you just like sitting next to them as like the TV consumes you or the computer consumes you or whatever it is? And that's not to say there's anything wrong with sitting down and watching a movie with your partner, but have you established that presence and connection first? Like, have you been like, yes, I'm so glad to see you, we're connecting, we're going to sit down together as a couple and we're going to watch this together? Or are you just like both coming home from work,
mindless.
Hey, sit down on the couch, chuck it on, watch it, go to bed, get up, do the same thing on repeat, and never actually genuinely, like, you're on the surface, you are spending a lot of time with them, but what is the quality of that time? What is the presence that you're bringing to that time?
Yeah, I love that. It's about a meaningful connection. And I think when you slip into those patterns, and it's so easy to do, like once you spend a amount of time with someone, it is so, even a short amount of time, I know especially like when you move in with someone, it's easy to start to slip into those like routine patterns of like, yeah, chuck on the TV each night. Or we remember we used to do that all the time. We would watch so much TV, and now we barely even put the TV on. Some nights we will just play. Actually, I love what we've just started doing. We might watch an episode of something, like 1 to 2 episodes, but then we play a board game to finish the night, so that we're no screens.
Like some Uno or Pictionary.
Yeah, what's the other one? The word one where you have to spell out words, but we love it. And it's or sometimes we'll just sit and we'll just talk. And that's probably my favorite evening, is when we just talk and we just share and we talk about what's on our mind. But yeah, to me that is like love, and I think it's so beautiful. Sometimes we'll even just like, we have this beautiful like muscle mat. It's like a memory foam mat, and we absolutely just like,
shout out Muscle Mat, sponsor us please.
Yeah, sponsor us. We absolutely just live on this thing, and we'll just lay there. Bella will be there next to us, and sometimes we just lay there and we won't talk for 5 minutes, and it's the most beautiful thing because we're just enjoying being in each other's presence and in silence. And I think that's really powerful if you can be comfortable in that. And
yeah, and know that it takes time as well. And it takes effort on both sides. So I feel like you really need to come to a place of like calm and relaxation to be able to genuinely be with each other. And that's difficult sometimes. Like especially if you just come home from work, you've been really heightened and stressed out. Like it's not going to happen straight away. And both people need to reach it too. You can't have one person who's relaxed and the other person who's strung out and expect it to be like a great connection and you're going to have a good time. Whoever is the relaxed one needs to put in that effort to bring that other person down, and whoever is stressed needs to realize they're stressed and allow their partner to bring them down as well. You can't just bring somebody to a certain level unless they're allowing themselves to be brought to that level as well. But knowing that that's a really healthy thing for a couple to do in their relationship is to, whenever the other one is kind of a bit stressed out or a bit strung out, to try and help them come back to that place of presence. Because if the mind is noisy and the mind is running wild, like there's not really any chance of genuine connection then. You may be able to say all the right things or do some of the right things, but if you're not here mentally, like if you're in a million different places, then there is no real connection going on.
Yeah, I love what you're saying about like be considerate as well of the other person and don't always expect them to be on the same level as you.
No.
I can think of a good example. We went to, in the week, we normally take Bella out to Busy Park for a walk in the morning. It's like our little morning ritual to start the day. And I remember one morning recently, Hugh was like really low energy, and he was for the whole day. And I think you ended up saying you were feeling a bit, we'd had fish and chips the night before. And so I think all the
And
oils
we didn't just
were
have
like,
fish and chips. We had
monster
the family feast for 5 people, but split between the two of us. But Liz is being like good with her food at the moment, so really I ate like 4 people's worth, and she ate one person's worth.
yeah, I had a mere morsel compared to what Hugh ate. And I think the oils had weighed you down a
and
little
when
bit.
you normally just eat vegetables and tuna. And vegetables, tuna, and crumpets. Anyone who knows me,
The Crumpet King.
and then you have like a liter of oil.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't react so well the next day.
Yeah, your body's very sensitive to...
But we are really good with that because we're always open. Like I'll tell her straight away. Today I'm not in a great headspace because I have really low energy levels. And then to go even further to try and diagnose, be like, yeah, I think it was because of this, and this. So when you have clarity as to why, then that your partner can feel safe and reassured that it's not, they haven't done anything wrong, because that's your first initial reaction. If you're with your partner and they're down and or not happy and whatever they're experiencing, your initial reaction as a partner is, oh, I've done something wrong, or they're upset with me, or it's something that I've done, because naturally, like, that's just, you're with each other all the time. They were happy yesterday, but they're not today. They've only been with me since then. It's something I've done. But if you can clearly communicate like, hey, I'm just not feeling good today, makes such a world of a difference in a relationship. And then your partner can then go from being reactive and upset to now supportive and nurturing, because you're like, hey, I realize they're just having a bad day. I'm going to do what I can to try and make them feel a bit better.
That is huge. And I think that's a really important point. It's like, and that was what I was going to say. Like this morning we went for a walk, and before Hugh explained to me that he was feeling tired and had sort of done that like analyze of, oh, do you know what, it's probably from the food last night. Before we'd had any of that conversation, my initial reaction was actually like a little bit angry, because so selfish, but like I was really energetic and I was like, okay, let's go for this walk and we're going to talk and we're going to have a great conversation. And I remember we were walking and I wasn't getting much conversation out of Hugh. And at first I was like, oh, like, I'm energetic. Why weren't you energetic? And it annoyed me. And then when I asked you, I was like, oh, are you feeling okay? Like, what's going on? And I was probably starting to think, like, have I done something to upset him? Like, God, what's happened? Like, over analyzing like the morning's conversation or the day before. But then as soon as I asked the question and we started to unravel that, like, oh, of course you're probably not feeling great and you're feeling a bit lethargic because of the meal we ate last night. I was like, oh, like, silly me, like I should be more considerate. And that's a big thing as well. It's like having that communication. So asking your partner the question, hey, I noticed like you're a bit quiet. Just want to make sure I haven't done anything to upset you. Like, are you feeling okay? That is such an important conversation, because if you don't have that chat, it just leads to like feelings of resentment and anger and, oh, they must be upset with me. And then you start to like create this entire narrative in your head. But if you just ask them a simple question and just do a nice like little mental health check-in, hey, what's going on with you? I've noticed that your energy, and also the way that you approach that question needs to be kind as well. Because I know in the past I've sometimes snapped at Hugh.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what did I do something wrong?
What's wrong with you is a little bit different to how are you feeling today.
And again, it comes back to the point that you made earlier. Don't make it you attacking you, the partner. It's, I've noticed that you seem a bit quiet this morning. I'm just a bit worried.
That's a big one too. Don't implicitly assume either. Give them an opportunity to decide how they feel as well. Because if you say what's wrong with you implicitly in their head, even maybe they were just tired and there wasn't anything wrong with them. But if you say what's wrong with you, instantly their mind is now like, there's something wrong.
Yeah, shit, what have I done?
But if you say to them, how are you feeling today? It gives them the autonomy to have a look and be like, you know what? I'm actually okay. I'm just tired. But if you say, what's wrong with you? Automatically they're like, something's wrong. Something's
Yeah.
wrong with me. I'm angry. I'm upset. Or the very fact that you're saying what's wrong with you, that's what is the thing that actually upsets them.
Yeah.
They were just tired, but now they're tired and pissed off.
Yeah. And if you just approach that question with a bit more kindness and compassion, you end up
The
coming
language
to
you use. So
the
not
language
just
you use is
communicating, but the
very
language you
important.
use is so
The
important.
tone.
Just the way you structure things. And you know, a lot of the people probably being like, oh, I don't want to have to feel like I'm stepping on eggshells the whole time, and
No, it's not
I
that
should
at
just be
all.
able to say what I want to say. And like, no, like it's important, man. The same as you see it in yourself. Like if somebody says something to you in a certain way, it's so easy to overreact and take it the wrong way if it's not structured properly. So yeah, just take a bit of time, deep breath before you say something, especially if you're feeling a little bit emotionally charged. Really think about it before it comes out,
Yeah.
because the way you structure things is really important.
Your words have a lot of meaning and impact on people.
Yeah. And I go, guys, guys are definitely a lot more guilty of the fact of not actually saying why they feel a certain way, or not even telling you how they feel. And then when you ask everything, okay, they just go, yeah, oh, yeah, it's fine.
Oh my God.
But girls as well, just because you've said you're upset doesn't mean that you've expressed yourself sufficiently. Like we were talking about before, yes, girls are a lot better at expressing their emotions, but while guys more predominantly do struggle to explain how they're feeling and everything else, but girls as well, you may explain the way you're feeling a lot better and a lot clearer, but you also need to have the autonomy to explain why. And that's a really important step to take as well, because if you just tell your partner that you're upset, but you don't explain like the deeper meaning behind it as well, then it's not really constructive at all just to tell someone you're upset. You really need to go that extra step further and find the real reason too, because there's always a surface reason and then there's a core reason. So the surface reason in your head might be like, I'm upset because you said this. But the core reason is like, no, you saying this triggered me being upset, but the real reason why I'm upset is because in our relationship, I feel insecure when you say things like this. I really want to feel secure and loved, so that's why it upset me. So finding out like the core reason, which always comes back to more of an emotional, like it's usually to do with some kind of deficiency you're feeling and something you want your partner to make you feel better about. So don't let it just be the surface thing of because you did this, because you did that, because then you're attacking. Bring it back to it's because I have this feeling in me and those actions you took triggered that, and I would like to try and like either resolve this feeling or do something to try and rectify it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is a really important conversation. And I don't want anyone to listen to this and think like, oh, Hugh and Liz think they're like relationship experts. It's like, no, we're just sharing our experiences. But I do feel that we have had a lot of we've been together for a long time. It's coming up to 6 years next week. And
On Wednesday.
yeah, anniversary. And it's like we have been through a lot. And so we are sharing from our lived experiences, but I do feel like we have some insight and some good examples to bring. And I hope that you don't listen to this and don't also think like, oh, let's say you're having issues in your relationship and some of this is bringing some thoughts to your mind about maybe conversations you've had in your relationship that could have gone better. Or I think take like peace in the fact that you can try and test these tactics and these ways of like improving communication and know that it may not work straight away, but it's a bit of practice. Like a relationship, like anything, it takes practice. And I think be patient as well. Be patient with your partner too, because you, like we spoke about with like having expectations in your head but not articulating them and explaining them to your partner. Like if you're thinking, okay, I want to maybe approach my partner and talk about something, in their mind, they have no idea that you're thinking about this. So be kind with your approach as well. Say there's a topic or there's something you want to address with your partner. Don't come straight off the bat and be like attacking them with this. Come with kindness and compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realize how much has gone into this point right now. So I don't know where like I'm in my 30s. Liz is nearly there. I'd say most people listening would be late 20s, 30s, whatever. Like realize that 30 years of conditioning has gone into leading up to them being however they are or doing whatever they do or saying whatever they say. So it's likely going to take more than one time of you saying, I would prefer you not to do this, to change 30 years of them being or doing something a certain way. So just have compassion that like, and because that comes up a lot in a relationship too. You're like, I told you weeks ago that I don't like da-da-da-da. Yeah, it was weeks ago. How much stuff has happened between now and then? You only said it once. Yes, it did mean a lot to me and I really wanted to make that change.
Sometimes people need reminders.
But sometimes we forget. Yeah. Sometimes we need a little bit of a gentle reminder. And I think gentle being the key word there. Just,
be kind.
Just remember that I really appreciate it if you da-da-da-da. Always gently reminding until it becomes just something that you no longer think about, because like we were talking about before, even if you can make the person change, you don't want them to resent you for it. And then it's like, yeah, sure, they take out the trash every night now, but every time they take out the trash, they're doing it thinking like, I hate that the person made me do this.
Yeah.
So every time they take out the trash, they're doing it with anger. It's breeding anger in the relationship because you force them into it. Whereas if you got them to take out the trash every night because you talked about how much it makes you feel loved and appreciated, how big of a difference is that? Now every time they're taking out the trash, they're like doing it with like a little swing in their step because they're like, I know how much she appreciates this and I know how much that this is going to make her feel like I'm doing something nice for her, versus taking out the trash because she said, you're lazy and you never take out the trash. Now every time I take out the trash, I'm like angry at you for calling me lazy, and then I'm also feeling bad about myself thinking that I am lazy.
Yeah.
It's a completely different experience.
It's very resentful all of a sudden, other than like could be an act of service, act of love.
The emotions we attach to certain actions are really important, and if you're driven to do these things out of a sense of love and appreciation of your partner, then it's going to breed a beautiful relationship. But if you've been driven to action based on threats and demeaning words and like fear, then the relationship is going to be completely different.
Yeah, and I think another point here is to make sure your partner feels appreciated. So whenever Hugh does something for me, if it's something small or something big, I always make an effort to verbalize and communicate to him, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Who's that good boy? I was just thinking,
Give a little pat
with a
on the
few of the
back.
things we've said, I've kind of been thinking along the lines of like, you kind of need to treat your partner like they're a dog. Like good positive
Good dog.
reinforcement and speaking to them the right way,
It's
and
true,
trying to
though.
reinforce good traits. Like when they do good things, reward them, give them a little bicky, call them a good boy.
I'll give you a bicky. I know how much he loves you. No, but it is really important. And whether that's you saying it or maybe you show them by giving them a hug or kissing them, like whatever it is, I think it's really important to appreciate each other and acknowledge that when your partner says something nice or does something nice for you, don't let it go unseen, because it's really beautiful that they have made the effort to do something that they know makes you feel good and you appreciate. So make them feel appreciated for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we could yap on all day about this topic, but it's probably a good place to wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to talk on this topic before we conclude?
No, I think we've made ourselves out to be holier than thou enough at this point. Two people with absolutely zero counseling or relationship advice, accreditation or anything like that. Just done an hour podcast on how amazing we are and how knowledgeable we are. But
I think the fact that we talk about it so passionately and we have so many great examples to bring.
It's all lived experience.
Yeah.
Every single thing is a lived experience. Every single thing is I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. And I think that's an important thing to remember as we close this out is you're going to make mistakes. That's just part of being in a relationship. You're going to say things that the other person gets pissed off by. You're going to do things that piss the other person off. You're going to have fights. You're going to have breakdowns. You're going to break the other person's trust likely at some point. There's going to be all these things that you go through. But what makes a relationship strong and what makes a relationship healthy and beautiful is the fact that despite all those things, you still want to make it work. You still want to come back and you still care about the person and you still love them enough to say, hey, I want to make things work. I want to be with you and I want to be with you in a loving and positive and romantic way.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. And I think that is true love when, despite adversity and despite hard times, you together collectively want to overcome those together and grow. And yeah, I love it. All right, should we?
I love you.
Oh, I love you. All right, we're going to do a bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ready? Can we do it in sync?
Okay.
I appreciate it when we do it in sync. It makes me feel really happy. And all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.